Welcome to Bluegrass Home and Garden TV. Bluegrass Home and Garden TV is brought to you by Jimmy Nash Homes, Comfort Heating and Air, Springhouse Gardens, Back Construction, Dinger's Hearth Patio and Grill, Buyer's Paradise Furniture, and by The Studio. Join us now for Bluegrass Home and Garden TV with Amber Kanoy.
I am joined once again with Ashley Upton over at the studio in Richmond with interior decorating, and we had a viewer email us under Ask Amber, which hopefully all of you all out there are going to bluegrasshg.tv and submitting all your questions. Hopefully they'll have some more for you coming up soon. But she is working on a limited budget, and she just wants to know some, tips for, if you're on a budget, which most of us probably are, that you would offer up to people in regards to, decorating.
When starting to do a room, I would say always add greenery to your room. It softens it and makes it more homey, of course. You need drapery. When you're picking drapery, make sure your drapery's lined so no fading with the sun. Make sure they go high enough above the window. It elongates your room if you have lower ceilings.
Okay, great advice.
Different textures, different patterns in your fabrics. You don't want the same, you don't want leather throughout the house. You want leather, which is a little bit harder, and then you want softness, which would be a cotton. So you want stuff like that. And if you can use high gloss in your trim, if you have crown molding, or if you, on your base trim, it just makes the walls pop with your paint color because your paint's a little flat, and then you have the high gloss, it breaks it up. Also makes your ceilings look taller. So there's many things like that. Don't go so matchy-matchy on your furniture. Don't be afraid to blend it all together. New piece with an old piece.
And that's sometimes hard to do.
Put it all together.
That's sometimes hard for us who have more of a traditional sense of style. My mom's all talking, you can blend colors of wood. I'm like, but I need it to match.
Colors of wood is a big thing. You can totally blend colors of wood. Dark with the light, and it turns out to be gorgeous with different type of knobs, brushed brass, or you can even do a stainless steel for a little more contemporary edgy look. With wood, marble goes well, or high gloss like black with wood is beautiful. It's the rich, very regal, it's kind of old southern Charleston look. Right. They even had black baseboards in Charleston, South Carolina, and that that's some of the looks of our homes that we have throughout the state. So
absolutely. Now, I do want to point out that just because you're working on a limited budget and you're trying to be frugal, sometimes you need to call an interior decorator, because a lot of us that think we might have the knack to be able to match everything
don't always have it.
And we can make some mistakes that end up costing us in the end.
Absolutely. Just like, for example, like I said before, when you go to buy a sofa, you don't always measure the sofa. You don't always measure your doorway. What if you buy a sofa and you think it's perfect? You can't fit it in your house.
Right.
You got to take it back. You go to buy another sofa. The springs break. The springs are awful.
And drapes are a huge issue because they're fading with furniture, the drapes themselves, the floor that can go into play.
They're not high enough, everything. It's just, like I said before, when you throw your hands up, when you just don't have an idea, when you need some advice, that's when you call a designer. And it's not always, a designer is not always expensive. It's just someone to guide you through the process to follow your budget.
All right. Well, if people want to call a designer such as yourself, how can they do that?
They call the studio or Ashley Upton at aupton25@yahoo.com.